Coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, home of Super Bowl 57, it's the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show with your hosts, Troy Geary, Will Stein, and Dave Stevens.
Well, good morning, everybody. Bright and early from the Valley of the Sun, even though it was dark when we got in here. Dave Stevens on a radio row coming to you from day 3, 4, I think. I don't know how long we've been here. But it is great to be here at my home and just having some old friends in today. Let me bring in my first old friend, of course, my co-host, Troy Geary. Troy, nice media party last night. They really pulled out all the stops. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, the NFL does a really good job of putting on these events and well organized. Great time last night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we're about to have a little more fun with our first guest of the morning, and I will bring him in as soon as I adjust his camera. I'm a one-man band here, but it's always nice when somebody so important sits down with us, and you know, it's been great to have our friendship and be, know each other, and we only get together at Super Bowls and fashion shows, but Super Agent Leigh Steinberg joins us today, and of course Leigh has a little business because one of his amazing clients happens to be playing quarterback on Sunday, Patrick Mahomes. So Leigh, welcome to Arizona once again. How are you doing?
I am doing great.
Do you have your mic, by the way? There you go.
I am doing just peachy. I have to mention one thing. Troy Geary entered our contest for predicting the winners of the playoff games. There were 200 people who started out, and at the end of it, there were 3 people who predicted every single game correctly, and Troy was one of them, and he won a ticket to my Super Bowl party.
Well, congratulations.
But can you imagine that out of 200 people, he was one of 3. So you've got someone with incredible prognosticative ability sitting next to you.
Yeah, Troy, what do you think? That's kind of a high compliment.
Yeah, I was honored, when Leigh did that contest, and I was one of 3 people to be got all the picks right. So thanks for doing that. Always looking forward to your parties anyway, so I was going to be there regardless. But thank you.
Yeah, before we talk shop and everything, Leigh, tell us again about this amazing event that you put on that, helps so many people, touches so many lives. And again, it's kind of what your whole background now is to teach and mentor people to do well and go out in life and to leave, I call it my legacy, but you leave your legacy. So tell us about this big Super Bash.
So we've taken over the Arizona Diamondback minor league baseball party. Stadium, and we'll have about 4,000 of my closest friends there. The Super Bowl's become a convention of Americana, big business, big politics, sports, and entertainment. So we do different things. We'll be helping Nick Lowry's Champions for the Homeless and try to raise money for them. We have a brain health summit to focus on the issue of concussion. We're looking at all the new biomed breakthroughs for health and longevity, and we have a brain body lounge. We give humanitarian awards, which you got one, for all of the incredible things you do in the world, Dave. And so this year, Dave Ziegler, the GM of the Raiders, will get one, and Bruce Smith, retired player. And so it's an antidote to the noisy, boozy, dark, overcrowded parties.
Yeah, amen. Amen to that. And it's so nice to see so many people. I mean, it's you have to plan almost your Super Bowl week around your event because you'll meet so many great people. The philanthropy is wonderful. And, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to continue. So what motivates you to continue to do such good, considering everybody else out in the world is so bad right now?
There are many good people. My dad raised me with 2 core values, Dave. One was treasure relationships, especially family, and the second was try to make a meaningful difference in a positive way and help people who couldn't help themselves. So this is the work we should be doing, and we can use pro sports to make a positive difference in the world. We ask the athletes to go back to the high school community, the collegiate, set up a scholarship fund at the high school, endow some scholarship at the university, and then set up a charitable foundation with leading business figures, political figures, and community leaders to make a meaningful difference in some program, some foundation in that community. So it's athletes making a difference in the world.
And Leigh, you champion a lot of other events, stem cell research and brain health. And just kind of talk about the other things that you do that a lot of people don't know about. You know, I know you're trying to start doing some other things this spring, and you're going to come out with some other and more initiatives that other people can, be a part of. So kind of just talk about that.
There have been some incredible breakthroughs in terms of health and healing. And so I approach it from the standpoint, could you get an athlete in a critical moment in a game to elevate their level of play so that they're more productive? And second of all, could you return athletes to service quicker? And so we found stem cells and hyperbaric oxygen and something called light stem, where you lie on the bed and infuse energy, and a couple neurological treatments from the standpoint of neuroplasticity that really can almost heal and regenerate a concussed brain. And one of them is called RTMS, and the other is Nestry brain training. So I'm trying to bring these into professional sports and collegiate sports to solve those problems. And I think we're on the verge of a breakthrough in concussion treatment. People always assume that the brain would only get worse, not better. But now I think that some light at the end of the tunnel is finally here.
Leigh, you also talk about, your recovery and how long you've been sober and everything. And how important is that now for when you're mentoring these young athletes that they're being thrown money now in college? That the college game has almost become more free agency than the professionals, and there's going to be more and more money thrown out and boosters and things like that. So how do you prepare them to not make the mistakes that you did and your big comeback?
Well, one of the keys to this whole NIL revolution is that it's moved the age where athletes start to brand themselves and they start to be marketed much, much younger. So you have high school players now. So it was tough enough to have someone who was a college junior or senior face the challenges of managing money well. But now all of a sudden you've got 16-year-olds and they're being approached for NIL. The other thing no one anticipated, Dave, was the fact that it would be used in recruiting. So groups of alums at like your Power 5 conferences get together and pool their money through their businesses and sign up and help recruit the young players. So all of a sudden he's looking at, Notre Dame offer X and Ohio State Y and Alabama the next thing. And so you get this going and it's completely altered the playing field.
Speaking of LA deals, you've been representing quite a few college athletes. What is your personal opinion on it? Like, is it weaponizing the sport with the recruiting, with the money, and how do the smaller schools kind of compete on that level?
I think the problem is going to be that they can't compete, and that it's going to further divide the top 5 conferences from everyone else. And I think they're going to have a difficult time because the talent is going to head where the NIL money is, and that's going to be at the SCs of the world.
And, that's the thing. I mean, it's worse than NFL free agency because we're already seeing players that have gone to 4 schools and you're wasting scholarship money, you're wasting opportunities for so many other. And it seems like it's almost legally how they were doing it, hiding it in the 70s and 80s with all the scandals. Now it's out in the open for anybody any booster who's got great money. Let's stock it in Florida. Let's put it in Miami, or let's get everybody in Colorado to follow Deion Sanders. It's just going to be, I don't know if that's good for the game. I think it's going to hurt it. we're going to get a big scandal somewhere coming out of this.
Except for, as you said, the fact that there is no scandal because it's all open and transparent and legal. See, the NCAA could have dealt with this problem much earlier. They could have expanded the amount of money that a football or basketball player would need receive, but they didn't. And they kept holding on to the concept of amateurism. They wouldn't give a stipend that was necessary to players. And the players felt resentful. And they went ahead and took money from alums and agents anyway.
I hope we figure out how to police this thing, because it's just going to bring a huge imbalance, I think, to college sports everywhere, right? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, one last question with that, Lee. Do you think there will be some sort of regulation at some point for the money and the NIL deals? Is that why you think
No, as a matter of
Maryland kind of stepped in and took that role?
As a matter of fact, I think that we are probably in the last 5 years of the NCAA. I think that the major conferences will go ahead and make deals on their own and realize that they can do their own television contract, that they can create their own regulations. So I think it's not going to head towards more regulation. It's going to head towards more free agency.
So you're here. It's Super Bowl week. What kind of guidance? I mean, how often do you communicate with Patrick Mahomes and what he's got going on, and trying to again guide him with all opportunities and things that are going to just fly out of the woodworks? I mean, what is a week in the life of a super agent with one of your highest priority clients?
There are probably 3 highlights that you can have as an agent representing football players. First is have the first pick in the draft. The second is have players go into the Hall of Fame. But the third definitely is having a key player, especially a quarterback, in the Super Bowl. And this game offers the opportunity to raise the profile of a quarterback so that he crosses over from being a great football player to become a household name. And fortunately with Patrick, you have someone who's very mature, very grounded, very focused. So he doesn't need much advice at all. And moreover, this is his 3rd time in 5 years that he started. And so he's been through this. He's won one, he's lost one, and he knows the taste of both of those experiences. So I have no doubt he'll be ready to go. And obviously Philadelphia has a front 4 that will make itself known early.
Yeah, it's going to be a special game. I'm really looking forward to a great matchup and a couple of great quarterbacks and a lot of firsts in the league. First, brothers against each other. We have a first Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks. We got a mom that's rooting for both. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we are here on Radio Row. I got a few more minutes with Leigh Steinberg joining us. We'll talk a little more football and find out what we'll talk more about this amazing weekend event that he's got coming up. But of course, I look good today in my little T-shirt. I was dressed up a little fancier, but don't worry. It's all part of our amazing week of looking good by Fresh Clean Threads right here on Radio Row. They've given us shirts and all kinds of things, and an exclusive opportunity to only our show. Our show in the United States has a code touchdown. If you go to freshcleantees.com/GSS show, 25% off of your order. That's only for us. They like us. Hey, it's a good thing I don't have a pants contract, because we wouldn't make much money on that. But we are here in wrapping up things with Leigh Steinberg again, getting to know Leigh and our friendship. And I mean, he picks up the phone, he answers emails, his assistants get back to you. Like it's been kind of overwhelming to build that relationship. And I wondered how tough is it for you in this day and age with all the other agents, and I don't have to name them by name, that are considered snakes or whatever, and yet you have such a good, solid reputation, not only being an agent, but you teach philanthropy. You teach them to give back. You take people and say, look, this will help your brand, this will help your modeling, but it'll also make you a better person.
I think that really the key in representing players. And the key in life, Dave, is listening skills. It's being able to cut below the surface with another person, find out what their values are, what their priorities are, and to understand very clearly how to fulfill them. So this whole experience is about mentoring, uh, teaching a young man about all the potentialities that they have in terms of life. Do they want to be in media? Do they want to be in business? Do they want to be in education or coaching? Can they make an impact in the world? So when Warwick Dunn puts the 200th single mother and her family in the first home they'll ever own by making a down payment and moving them in, or when Patrick Mahomes has his 15 in the Mahomes charity that helps youth groups in a variety of different ways, kids that are hungry, kids that are homeless, kids that are at risk. They're making a substantial impact, and their own growth doing things that are not athletic is profound.
And I just got a quick question. I know the draft's coming up. Do you have some clients you want to talk about yet, or how does that process work when you want to go out and find somebody to represent? This is for the viewers that don't kind of know.
What happens is that parents usually act as screeners for the agent. So usually, for example, when we first met Patrick Mahomes, we didn't meet him, we met the parents. And so we had several meetings with them before we ever met Patrick. And so it's mostly that way. And I try to profile young players to find people that might subscribe to our role modeling philosophy, self-starters, high character young men. And then many times we brought Patrick Mahomes here on Radio Row back in 2017, and people were like, "Who's that?" And but they found out pretty quickly.
Well, Leigh, it's been great to have you here for a bit. And again, are there still tickets available for that amazing party? I know I've been seeing a lot of things.
If you just go to steinbergspeaks.com Super Bowl party, you can find them, and all the money for it goes to great causes. I have another one which is to fight racism and push back against skinheads and hate groups, and so you can feel really good about it. And we have lots of fun activations there. So it's a daytime party, 12 to 5 on Saturday. Just go to steinbergspeaks.com.
By the way, my brand is Dave Stevens Speaks, and suddenly you have moved to Steinberg Speaks. So do I have to sue you? Do I have to take you to some sort of claims court or something like that? Or did I impress you so much that you decided to take my business model and create your own legacy out of it?
Well, you have to borrow from the winners. You have to borrow from those creative forces in the world. And incidentally, thank you for your disability channel, because my son has a show on it, and you are a splendid role model in terms of how you've lived your life, and the very fact that you do what you do is an inspiration to many.
Well, people don't realize what you do, and with your son Jonathan battling retinitis pigmentosa and his life, where he can get around Los Angeles to games, and then now he's got a platform that you just kind of give him that push, give him that opportunity, and he's been running with it. So
he does it better than I do. He can go downtown to Staples in Los Angeles and get himself into a Clippers game in a way that his father could never do.
Well, it's been honor just to know you and to I learn from you. To just you're so humble. What you've been through. We didn't even talk. I mean, we didn't talk about Jerry Maguire. People don't know the old you. They know this new you, and it's been amazing to watch your growth and your sobriety and everything that I get to be a part of. So thank you so much. The big party is again this Saturday, February 11th. I got a morning camp. I'll be at my football camp for disabled kids, and then we'll fly over to Lee's party. And it's just amazing to see who you run into. And again, so many great people that are going to be out there. So, Leigh, thanks for joining us on Radio Row. I know you got to get going, and thank you for your time. I love you, my friend. God bless you. So, Leigh is taking off. We'll say hi to him later. Troy, man, it doesn't get much better than that when you have such an amazing man just come and spend a little time with us. I mean, it really is humbling when you think of, they are kind of just people like everybody else, but to get the relationships that we have, I mean, I know you've gotten to know Leigh, you've been to the parties. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know the man like we do. I mean, he's just so down to earth, loves everybody, champions his causes, and he's just a great all-around guy. So it's an honor every time we talk to him.
And we are so excited to be here. On Radio Row, fixing our little glitches today. Got the microphones working. Things are sounding good. We got just kicking off with a great guest. And, of course, our sponsors we have to thank. Of course, we got the camp coming up this week at Camelback High School. If you're watching locally, please come out. It's free. Luis Zendejas and myself. It's our first ability camp brought to you by Pro Stance, the NFL alumni. Going to be a great day. And, of course, we also have Jambar that has donated, so much to us. And, and, of course, our friends at Fresh Clean Threads, because we kind of look good here on Radio Row. Troy, I like your shirt. I got the black going on here today. It'll go with my coat. It'll kind of make us look good. And again, I want to tell you to go to freshcleantees.com/GSS show. It's a 25% off code. You're not going to get that from them. You're going to get 10, 15. You go to the site. But if you go to the site, type in freshcleantees.com/GSS show. It might be kind of funky at first, but put in touchdown, and it should get you 25% off. So that's going to wrap it up for this first guest on Radio Row. It's a great start to our day. Will is somewhere trying to get people. I see Will over there. Hey, Will, come over here in a second. Come over here behind me. Just so you know, Will is still here, and he's talking to our good friend Mike. Come on over here, over my shoulder here. We'll get our friends here. I'll put you full screen. So, right. Mike, say hi. Introduce yourself to our group.
Mike Dempsey, NFL alumni, Carolinas chapter, player engagement coordinator. And good-looking dude, by the way.
And a great dad. He's got a daughter that is just beautiful and special. And, of course, Will Stein. Will, what's going on Radio Row today? Who have we gotten rejected by so far?
Well, I tried to get Kurt Warner on, but he's on the schedule right now. And Jim Everett said he's willing to stop by, former Pro Bowl quarterback for the Rams. He can stop by whenever you guys are ready.
We're ready. Send him on over. All right. Well, we're going to pop off real quick and try to get Jim Everett on here and talk a little football. This is Dave Stevens and my co-host, Troy Geary, sitting over there. We'll see you later and probably in just a couple minutes. Take care.